Hi everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radio Central, and I'm your host, Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So recently I received an email from someone asking me to talk about the Sunday blues, what to do when you dread going back either to work or to school or whatever on a Monday, and that every Sunday you're kind of depressed, you go through the Sunday blues. Great question. I have to say, when I received this email, it reminded me of a time in my life back in my early 20s when I'd been living in Chicago for about 5 years, and I returned back to Montreal, Canada, where I'm from, and I took a job that I hated. I hated it so much that every Sunday I would get really, really depressed because all I'd think about was I had to go back to work on Monday. And over time, I even started dreading the weekends, because the weekends meant I'd have to dread Monday. And it was a rough time in my life, but it was something I went through, and luckily over time it was something that passed. And so I do have a lot of suggestions for those that do go through the Sunday blues, whether they're dreading going back to a job on Monday, or they dread going back to school on Monday, or they dread just seeing someone, maybe a coworker or something, or someone they work with or go to school with, on Monday and the following days. There's something that triggers someone to have the Sunday blues every Sunday. That Monday is the beginning of the week of something, and it's usually either school or work that gets someone down. And the situation is that, you can say to someone, well, change your job or go to a different school or study something else, but a lot of times we can't change those things. Those things are how someone makes a living, or what they're studying, or they have to work with certain people that they don't like. And so how do you work around that where you can't necessarily change it, but you dread it, and at the same time it's ruining your weekend? And who wants that, right? So the first suggestion I have is to start organizing your time around these things, and organizing your time that you're filling your time with things that you can look forward to. Specifically Monday, and specifically the following weekend. So on Mondays, let's say you don't like your job and you dread going to your job, then try and do something that organize things that after your job you're having fun. That right after your job you're either like meeting up with your best friend or a group of friends that you love to hang out with, or you're seeing a family member that always puts you in a good mood, or you go out to the movies, or you go out for a nice dinner, or you take a class, something that you really want to do. So like maybe you decide you want to take an art class or a dance class, or go to the gym, or learn a language, like something. Make Monday the day that even though you have to go to the thing you dread, you also are going to do something that you love to do. Because the more things that are filled into that Monday that make you feel good, then the easier it is to get through the day. You're not so focused on the job you hate or the class you hate, but you're more focused on like what you get to do afterwards, and you have something to look forward to. I also suggest too, for someone that has the Sunday blues, is to be organizing things for the following weekend. So that Sunday, you have something organized for the following weekend. So you have something to look forward to, that you're not focused on being depressed about going back to work, but you're focused on like, oh, I can't wait to do this, and that next weekend. If you're not organizing and planning things to look forward to, then life becomes about the things that you don't like. And that's not a place you want to be in. Okay? The second thing is that I suggest is also, I find Mondays determine the rest of your week. Mondays are a great day of the week, okay? I've said this on many, many videos that I love Mondays. You start afresh. And for me, I find that if my Mondays, if they're like a disorganized day, if I wake up and my home is dirty and the laundry's not done and everything's all over the place and I don't know what I'm doing and I got 50,000 things to do, and I start my Monday off like that, then I find the rest of the week, everything's all over the place. Everything's scattered. Everything is just like not organized and not structured, and for me that just, it feels overwhelming. And I find if I organize things, that on a Monday morning I wake up, my home is clean and things are put away, and I got like a fridge full of food and everything's organized, and I know what I'm supposed to do on that Monday and for the rest of the week, and I feel on top of things. I find the rest of the week flows so well. Okay, and I feel like confident, and I feel on top of things, and I feel like my life is actually going somewhere, as opposed to feeling overwhelmed, stressed, and just scattered. So I can give an example of, as everyone knows, I do video blogs, right? And I've been trying to do them consistently since January, so it's been a good 7 months now. And Also, everyone knows I have a baby, right? And my lovely daughter. And so my life is not as consistent as it used to be, right? Because some days are good days where I can do a lot, I can make videos, and she's happy, and everything's good. And then there's other days where she's cranky, and I have to just focus on her, and I can't do my videos or things like that. And I find, though, that if I'm able on a Monday to actually make a video, find the rest of the week I'm really creative and I feel more on top of things and confident with what I'm doing, and it flows better. But on a Monday, if everything's like all over the place and I don't get anything done and I'm putting things off to the next day and the next day after, I find by the middle of the week, I'm overwhelmed. I feel stressed. I feel pressured. I feel like I'm not doing anything and I should be doing things. And I feel like I'm always in a bad place like that. So I find Mondays is the day not only to wake up to like a fresh, clean home, so make sure either at the end of the week, like on a Friday or over the weekend, you clean up your home. You go to the grocery store and you get groceries. You make sure you get a good night's sleep on Sunday night. You make sure you have clean clothes to wear, things like that. Basics, just get back to the basics. That Monday, everything's fresh and everything just flows. Because once you're focused on that and getting those things done, then you can do so many other things. And you feel like your mind is clear and you're on top of things. And you feel way more confident about everything. So one thing I suggest is using Monday also as a day to get anything done that needs to get done. So if you're supposed to call someone, if you're supposed to finish something up, don't use Monday as the day to put it off to Tuesday. Don't put it off to the end of the week. Do it on Monday, get it over with, because then the rest of the week, you'll feel free, you'll feel lighter, you'll feel like less stressed. Okay, so that's another thing. Make Monday a productive day. You know, instead of focusing on dreading something, focus on Monday is the day and getting things done. Move the depression, the blues, and the dread. Move that aside and just be like, you know what, Monday is the day that I'm the most productive out of the whole week. And then you'll see that like your attitude on Sunday is about getting ready for that and getting excited about that so that you can clear out some time to do other things. My last suggestion for the Sunday blues and dreading Monday is also to look at everything that's going on in your life. A lot of times we kind of look at one thing and we say that's the source of negativity in our life. That's the source of dread. That's the source of displeasure. That's the source of just not feeling good, right? And a lot of times people put it on their job, or they put it on someone they know, or they put it on something that they have to do that they don't want to do. I find, though, a lot of times is that it's not only that, but it's other things as well. And sometimes if we're just focusing on the one thing that we really kind of maybe can't change, then we feel trapped in it. And sometimes we need to be reevaluating everything in our life. I know for myself, going back to that example of when I moved back to Canada from living in Chicago, and I was dreading that job, and every Sunday I was just so depressed. The moment I started looking at everything else going on in my life and the other things that were getting me down, the more I was able to kind of have a better perspective of things and get on top of the things that I could get on top of and start changing those things. So I realized at that time in my life that I not only hated that job, but I wasn't really happy being back in Canada. I didn't have many friends. I had to make new friends. I wasn't happy with my living situation. I mean, my whole life was kind of upside down because I was moving to a new place and I had to start over. And so when I started realizing that I couldn't be putting all of it on my job, and I couldn't be focusing on so much on the job and how much it's getting me down, but instead I needed to focus on what were the other things I could be doing with improving. You know, what else could I be making better in my life? You know, so that meant like I needed to start focusing on making more friends. I needed to focus on having more of a social life. I needed to focus on improving my living situation and saving money so I can get a better place to live, things like that. And then things started changing. You know, but if I focused too much on the job that I hated and the one thing that I couldn't really control, then I felt like I felt paralyzed in it. And I felt like I was overwhelmed with like doom and gloom. But the moment I started working on the things that I could make better and that I could improve and that I could change, then I felt more empowered and my life started moving more in a better direction, and eventually I was able to leave that job. So everything's kind of interconnected. And so a lot of times too, it's like, how much focus are you putting on the one thing that's putting you down? You've got to move that focus to other things that you can enjoy, other things that you can improve, other things that you can create in your life. All right, so those are my tips. So Monday is a day to start afresh. Monday is my favorite day of the week. I've said this over and over again in many videos that Monday is my favorite day of the week. And it can be for you too. It's just about how you go about using your Monday. What do you do with Monday? How do you see Monday? Okay, so I'm wishing you a super fabulous day, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.